we dissect the precision technique needed to succeed in Ice Speedway.
I'm Franz Zorn from Austria, and I'm a professional Ice Speedway racer. Ice Speedway is one of the most dangerous motorcycle sports that there is, and it's a completely unique motorcycle sport. It's not the sort of bike you can ride on the street. There are technical differences between Ice Speedway and normal traditional speedway. Ice Speedway bikes have spikes. It's only a 2-valve engine, and there are front and rear shock absorbers. On the other hand, a Speedway bike has 4 valves, has normal tyres for drifting, and an Ice Speedway bike also runs on just pure alcohol. In Ice Speedway, the whole style of riding is completely different from any other motorcycle. It's really difficult to ride due to the weight of the spiked wheels. One wheel weighs roughly 15 kilograms, and that makes it very difficult to drive the bike hard into the corner. You really have to physically force the bike down, as it always wants to come back up. There's a difference in technique, as the driving style is also completely different to other bikes. You ride the Ice Speedway bike roughly the same as a road bike. The difficult technique in Ice Speedway is basically trying to get the geometry right to take the corners as quickly as you can. So it's important that you have a very finely balanced system and layout of spikes. Aside from this, the really important thing is the setup of the front wheel forks and suspension. That setup is very important in Ice Speedway. I build all of my bikes myself, and for one bike I need roughly 3 months. That's 3 months for the bare bike without any paintwork. Then it's painted black, all the parts are assembled, so it takes 3 months just to build the bike. An Ice Speedway bike seats one person and has a 500cc engine. It runs on methanol, which is 96% alcohol, and that's used because the engines have very, very high compression, and that's also why there are no brakes. Then you've got the 28mm spikes. You can fit as many as you want, but they only work in a certain pattern and a certain system. An Ice Speedway bike has a ball mounted on the handlebars, and this ball shows when you're close to touching the ground. You could say that it indicates the limit of how far you can go. If this ball touches the ground, then that's it. That's your limit. That's as far as you can go. Any further, and you'll skid. But the one thing you absolutely have to remember about a bike like this is that it hasn't got any brakes. Now we're in a very special room. It contains all the trophies I've won in 24 years in the sport. There are a lot in here, and I think there are roughly over 240 trophies. The training for Ice Speedway is actually very tough. One good basic preparation is riding motocross. Then of course you have to go to the gym. Fitness training is very important, and sports in general, like running and mountain biking. The injuries are obviously very dangerous, especially if you have any contact with the spikes. That's something every Ice Speedway racer has to accept from the outset, and no one can escape it.
Ice
Speedway is a sport that you can do over a long period of time. You need an incredible amount of practice, and I think this sport isn't like skiing, where you reach your age limit at 35, or in MotoGP, for example. It's a sport that can last longer, and the future is bright, as we've got racers who are almost 50 and are still really fast.
Und sehr schnell noch sind.